Hi, welcome. Um, it's Sunday again. I do have a tiny bit of a headache, but I think that's more hydration related than anything else. I do know that sounds like I went out drinking last night. It's the opposite. I didn't drink enough today, sometime. It happens. I am notoriously bad at keeping hydrated when I'm just at home by myself. Uh, at the office, I use a bottle because we have a cool water tank thing, whatever. It's not a tank, it's directly plugged in, but so I fill up my bottle, and it's a 1 liter bottle, and I usually have one before lunch, then I have water at lunch, and then I have most of half a liter after lunch. So, you know, but at home I can just go and pick up my drinks and use that as a way to get away from the desk, because I'm obviously not printing a lot when I and if I were the printer's right next to me. So yeah, just putting it out there. Remember to hydrate, people. Anyway, it's Sunday again. It's week 1 of working from home again. Talking to my boss and hearing what other units have been told. The higher ups are doubtful that we're going back to work anytime soon. Some are working with the concept that we won't be going back until after Christmas. Well, when I say after Christmas, it's because we're closed between Christmas and New Year, so until the New Year. And there is a plan being put into motion that they are going to offer that we can have our adjustable tables brought home. I don't know how, and I'm not going to because I don't want that monster in my house, frankly. I can get up and walk around instead. That's my door. Someone, Friday night, after midnight, rang my door. Now, I'm not expecting anyone, because it is Sunday. Anyone who would maybe visit me know to actually call first, or ask me, hey, are you home? I know, it's COVID, we're all home. But the code to my flat and the code to open the door, well, they're not the same, but my flat number is the same as what the code starts with. So someone woke me up Friday night after midnight by repeatedly not being able to put in the code and calling my phone and my door phone instead. So yeah, I'm not going to open that door now. It's probably someone not putting the code in right, or not for me. And I'm talking to you guys. I mean, come on. How rude, people, to just interrupt us like that. Anyway, I've been doing a bit of knitting, I've been doing a bit of sewing, so let's talk about that. I have no new projects. I am still working away on 2 bits of knitting. This is Guld, Guld, It's their New Zealand lamb's wool. This is dyed with heather. And last week I was just past, I was almost done with the colour work. I think I had like one row left. And this week I've added on a bit of length. Now, this is supposed to have a bit of positive ease, and it does. My only question is, or the thing I've been wondering is, does it have more positive ease than I intended? Because of course I didn't swatch. You know me. Who does swatch? I mean seriously. But yeah, it's just plain stockinette. I've been knitting a bit during a conference call, and yeah, I'm just plugging away. And I did put in a marker so I can remember next week where I was this week. This isn't test knit. It is Tsunaga, one of the two, and should really be done by the end of this month, which I have already told the designer, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. I will attempt to finish it as soon as possible. It will only have short sleeves, so the slog is really getting it to the length that I want. And it is going to be a full length jumper, so there is quite a bit of while left. So, but it is for now perfect TV knitting. I need to get it down to a certain length so I can add the colour work border and then the ribbing, of course. So not a whole lot to say about this other than it's just plain stockinette from now for a bit. And I do love the colour work is a lot more subtle in real life than it is on screen, but even on screen I think it's a nice and subtle, not too high contrast, the colour work, which is sort of what I wanted. So that's my one project. My other project, I showed you the sleeves of my, what's it called? Penny sweater. I have the pattern right here. I probably didn't print anything with a picture on. Well, yeah, I did, but it's like really blown out, so. But I did for this start the body, and I did short little crop sleeves, and basically I'm doing a cropped top as well, so it's more or less the same length. I'm thinking it's going to be the same length as the sleeves. So if that's the case, then I am halfway through. This is Penny. The yarn I'm using is a Swedish dyer. Dandelion yarns. Yeah. From Sweden. This is the colorway Autumn Boots, and the yarn is Rosy Sport. And this is what I have so far. I know it looks really tiny, but that's because I have it on a needle that's not quite large enough around, but it is stretchy because it is lace, and so it does actually fit me. And I could knit it just in the round like this, but I'm doing it magic loop just because it's easier to sit with. as I said, if I'm going to do the same length as the sleeves, which I'm thinking I will, then I need 8 repeats of the lace, and I have 4 repeats done. Might see when I get the 8 repeats, put it on a bigger needle and see where it hits me, if it hits me where I want to, or if I need an extra repeat, because it's a 10 row lace, and you're supposed to end it with a row 4, because that matches up with the sleeves. Magic, I know. So yeah, I mean, I knit this in a week, so the rest of the body will be done by next week, possibly. And we'll see what I end up doing, if it's 8 or 9 repeats. So yeah, that is all the knitting. I know. This is going to be a short episode, if you can't tell. I'm just not feeling all that inspired at the moment. I do have other things I want to cast on, but I get a bit of analysis paralysis, and it results in me just not casting anything on, just plugging away. I don't even know what I'm going to cast on once I finish something. I have plenty of patterns I want to knit. I have plenty of yarn for knitting them. And I am wearing my fiddy top, or fiddy top, or occasionally the Fido top. Details are on both Ravelry and my Instagram, which is Bundgårdf, BUNDGAARDF. And that is all my knitting. Sewing. As I said, I did do a bit of sewing this week, and last week I showed you the front of a pair of Pietra pants in view A, which is the straight-legged, wide-legged view. I am not doing the cropped length. It comes in both a cropped length, which is 65 centimeters, and a full length width is 79 centimeters. Now, I am short. I am so short, in fact, that I cut off 8 centimeters, should probably have cut off 9 centimeters, or could have gotten away with cutting off 9 centimeters, but that's not what I did. Let me stand up and show you. These are my new black velvet Pietra. Size 20, made no modifications. It has the elasticated back band and the flat front. It is full length, and yeah, the pockets perfect for carrying around snacks in, or your entire wallet, if that's what you want. They do feel a bit baggy, not around here, but just in the leg, but that's because I don't tend to wear straight-legged anything. So yeah, nice and comfy, and would make again, because I have fabric for another pair. And this is another velvet, but this is a stretchy velvet. I don't think the stretch will be a problem, because the pockets are basically, you have your top part of the leg bottom part of the leg that you sew together, and then they sort of fold to make the pocket. So you have, when you sew your leg seams, you have the back of the leg, fabric from that, you have your pocket sandwiched in between, and you have your outer leg. So you have several layers that are all sewn together, and also the pocket is sewn it's supposed to be basted, but I decided to just sew it down for extra strength. And on top of that, I French seamed everything, which was a bit of a pain where you have multiple layers from the pockets. But yeah, actually you have 3 layers for the pocket front bit and then the back layer, so it's 4 layers. So I don't think I'll have a problem with this stretching out. But these already feel like pajamas. Imagine what this will feel like, this really soft, slightly stretchy fabric. So yeah, this is going on the cutting table as soon as I remove my crisps from the cutting table. Because I wanted crisps, so I bought crisps. This is the next thing on the cutting table, and I do have a lot of fabric for it. I have 2.5 meters, but I am going to cut. Oh, now I don't know. Should I cut off the 8 centimeters I did here, or the 9 that I'm thinking maybe I should have? Or split the difference and say 8.5. Probably the latter. I'll probably do 8.5. Because it's not like I'm going to be stepping all over these. They are just the tiniest bit longer than I want. So 8.5 is probably the right amount, I think. So yeah. And I was just looking around online looking for D-rings for a future project which needs 2 D-rings for the closure. It is the Deer and Doe Passiflora dress that I'm going to be making. Maybe after this, or maybe a bit further down the line, I'm not entirely sure. The fabric is bought, washed, but so are all my fabrics, including the thing I purchased to get the D-rings. And I will preface this by saying I've been looking at it for a bit, so it's not like an impulse buy. I've been looking at it, but I don't know what I want to use it for. And suddenly the website only had 2.5 meters. And I felt that in me, because there was another version of the same fabric with some other colors, that I feel sad that I couldn't get. So I figured, okay, if I feel sad about that and I've been looking at this and there's only 2.5 meters left and I don't want to purchase the D-rings on their own, because my issue was I wanted gold D-rings in a certain size and none of the shops here in town have them. Not that I went into the shops to look, I went on their websites to look and they had them in silver but not in gold. And I wanted gold because that's what's going to go with the fabric. So I didn't want to pay for the postage of just the D-rings, and there was only 2.5 meters left and so on, so I bought this, which is a jersey on a light blue background with gold ginkgo biloba or ginkgo. I think ginkgo biloba is the remedy. Ginkgo, really shiny leaves. It's so over the top. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I have 2.5 meters of it. It could maybe be a really swishy skirt, but then again, I have 2.5 meters of it. It could be a dress. I don't know. Whatever I opt for, it's going to be shiny fabulousness, and that's why I'm sort of thinking a swooshy skirt with square skirt with a lot of gathers or pleats. That you could wear with just a plain black top, for example. So you have all the action at the bottom and just, being casual, plain on the top. Or it could be a dress. It could be a really fun dress that I would probably still wear every day for to work and so on. But as I said, all my fabrics washed, ready to go whenever I find out what they want to be when they grow up. And that is really everything. If you want to study my pants in more details, I am going to be putting photos of on Instagram because I did take photos of them. Sorry. So yeah, I am going to go and have a drink, and I'll see you next week. I hope you have a great week. Bye.